Welcome to this space. I know we've been trying to set up spaces and they've been crashing, but we just can't stop, guys. We just have to keep going. We just have to keep going because, we have to keep moving anyway. So, share the space. Let us, talk about what is happening because a lot of things are happening this weekend. For moves, we don't want to reach Monday and we have too much to handle. So tell a friend to tell a friend we are on. This is actually like the night shift is starting now. It's starting now. We are going to as far as we'll be able to handle. I welcome you all. Please ask for the mic when you can. Also share the space. Yes, thank you so much for the reposts. I see the numbers are just there. Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you all. So, I was trying to connect to Good Girl Space, but wow. The sabotage was clear, like, about joining a space and crashing. Man, there's a lot, but I hope, they are not trying to, corrupt the whole space system and our communication, because truth be told, you guys, these people are scared, especially of the things we are doing. Those of you who were on in the morning, should have heard that, submission of, Saint Nelly said, gave a lot of insight and, she told us, what we are doing is, is putting a lot of pressure, on the system. So we should expect backlash and things like that. But does not mean that we can stop. We cannot stop. We just have to keep going. Mpaka. So in the comment section, you will see we've started with that claim by Anita Among and her group. They are saying that, they will literally not allow, a discussion on the censure motion that, after all the time of the Sechiko was laboring to get all the signatures, now that the signatures are there, the true colors are coming out, The true colors are coming out and she's claiming that, that will not be done in her house. She is actually calling it her house. These are some of the things that, get to my nerves so bad and make me feel like, I want to, feel like doing something unconventional, but, we agreed here that we'll always, stick to, the conventional ways. We'll try as much as possible to use means that are very peaceful and things like that. But that's how the situation is, guys. You can see that there's a collusion. There's collusion between the commissioners and the head of parliament, the speaker, deputy, clerk, it's a syndicate. Now, the syndicate now connects to the justice system, people like Douglas Singiza will always, get, their names are always going to get, higher and higher, and parliament will always rubber stamp them to even go to high court, Those are people you'll find one day, being chief justices. I'm not saying Owinidolo is any better than Douglas Singiza, but I mean, we all know that there's a difference in caliber with the two judges. But that is where we are, guys. That is where we are. That Anita Among, after realizing that the Sechikubos are going to Kulamisa, they're going to of their friends, like Mpuga and the other commissioners. What they decide to do is exactly now what they're doing, to try and frustrate the whole process, by using media and claiming that they're not going to allow the motion to even go ahead, to even see the day of light. But this is where now we have to, I think now, try to now call on our MPs, This is where now we now also have to, because now we know that now we also now can press some buttons. This is the best thing I'm liking. That they throw their cards on the table and wait for us to respond. Now we also have to respond. And me, I feel like the best response is to use our front that is inside parliament. First of all, they have to put resistance. From Sechikubo, we've identified those MPs. From MPs like Alioni, I don't know if it's called Alioni, the LOP, the real, NUP MPs who are, serious, because we know their categories. They are jokers, then they are bystanders, then they are pretenders, there are so many, but the real ones, the Zakes and the others, should stand up now. We want to see them, more agitated, especially on this matter, that after raising all those hands, the signatures, the speaker cannot just now from nowhere come and say, oh, you will not discuss this in my house. It is not her house. It is a house for all Ugandans, and every MP there is a representative of hundreds of thousands of Ugandans. So she cannot say, this is now my house. That does not work like that. So they need to be, we have to see them when they're proactive. Starting from Monday, I don't know, Monday probably they don't have plenary, but Tuesday. We want to see them, very, very proactive, especially on that matter. The speaker does not have, the authority to block such a proposal that has been brought by over 180 something, 190 MPs. That is too huge to refuse. So all that pressure also we have an impact to do. Especially, those of us who are online and those of us who won't have numbers of our MPs. We call them, if you've forgotten the number of your MP, you can visit Agora. They publish all those numbers. Or you can Google them still. You'll get a list of the MPs and their phone numbers. We have to call them. They have to know that the ultimate decider or the person who makes the final decision for anything in Parliament is the local person down, because that is where they go back to pick their vote. Unless they are telling us that they have another plan of getting back to Parliament. But if they are planning to use the Mwananchi, then henceforth they have to consider what the Mwananchi says. Especially if the Mwananchi now has grown wings and can raise 1,000 phone calls for a single MP. One MP like this, getting 1,000 phone calls, telling them what to do and telling them the repercussions of, not doing what they asked to do. This is how these things have to move. There's no other way out. There's no rehearsal for them. We are playing now. The movie is on. We just have to take our roles and do things, that we are expected to do at a certain time. So there's a lot going on, as we all know, guys. There's a lot that is going on. Thank you. Guys, you can ask for the mic. I am not a solemn speaker in this space. I have only, started it so that we can have a discussion. But I want to inform you guys that a lot is going on, but we have to concentrate and choose what is going to impact, what is going to impact, our cause. Because we've all seen, the CDF, the Commander of Defense Forces of Uganda, making, tweets that are outrageous. Factual maybe, but outrageous. Where he accuses his his brother-in-law of actually, trying to, of actually being a thief, and this has shocked the whole nation. And, of course, some of us are not shocked because we expect that from, that guy, especially in such a moment. But we know that, that shows it can be a sign for two things, The events of Muhoozi today and yesterday night, his tweets could be two-way. They could be targeting two things, according to me. One, as usual, seeking for attention. Secondly, it could be a serious issue, and now we are seeing, the battle for power and succession, playing out now in the public gallery. It has now grown legs. It has left, the inner circle, because there are people who know what is going on. There are people who know what, Patience, Museveni's, husband called Rwabogo. They know his agenda and what he has been doing and his intentions. Then there's a group of Muhoozi and also his other group. They also know what they are intending to do. So if those two groups clash, their battles, I don't know how we should treat them, whether we should applaud them or we should let them play out. If they are fake, but there's a lot going on, and we always have to try and read into it, but not too much, because when you try to read too much into it, so me, I'm of the view that that issue should be, mostly we should just be watching it from afar, because we don't know what these people are doing, There's a lot, sometimes it is a way of attracting our attention to get us off, what we are on. But I always still believe also that the flexibility of social media is that you can actually do, all the things. Once you have time, you can still do what you have to do and then go ahead and do even extra things, like engaging in some things that might look diversionary. But I also don't want to forget the matter, because sometimes they bring up such things to get our attention off some of the serious issues. You know, they want you to discuss Muhozi and Rwabogo as you forget Chitezi, okay? But in my mind, I just cannot forget Chitezi, because I have had interactions with the victims, you know. I've had interactions with victims. There are victims that are still at Chirudu, you know. There are also people who are still not yet, you know, uncovered from the rubble of rubbish, you know. And for me, every time I think about that, you know, the hair follicles on my skin almost raise up, because, you know, what a set of leaders we have, you know, very, 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 you know, uncouth people, very careless, very, you know, heartless. You know, they don't care, these people. They do not care. Up to now, I have not seen anyone from the first family. You know, there's all of them who cleared Rwabogo, Patience, Natasha. I don't even know what to mention, but zero. None of them has been to Chitezi. And even just talking about it, they talk about it from afar, you know. So this is the matter that they want us to, you know, stop discussing or reduce the pressure on, but we cannot let that happen. We have to keep every day to remind the people who are responsible, people who had jobs to do and failed to do them, people who had responsibilities and failed to fulfill these responsibilities. You know, people like Dorothy Chisaka, we even know the names. Dorothy Chisaka, Luyimbazi. Eh? I remember that man. During COVID, he had, you know, a special mask that, you know, somehow was coming off of his specs or something like that. You know, it was, you know, a flashy mask and, you know, all stylish. Nguros and, you know, alinamu kumagezi, but, clowns. Tivina magezi man, up to now, you know, they have not resigned. We are calling them on peacefully. We are calling them on peacefully. They are not resigning. They want us to get to the next stage. We will get there. But we have to maintain that we were not just saying it out of anger. It was not because, you know, it was not a rush moment. We still maintain that they are culpable. They have to resign. That is just stage one. After resigning, then there will be another stage, you know, of them answering up to these charges, and that might mean arrest and imprisonment. But whatever it is, we have to maintain. We have to remind them daily that we will not be obstructed. We will not be, you know, skewed away from this cause. We are going to maintain that the KCCA executive, especially the wing that was empowered with all, you know, authority by the president, you know, Dorothy Chisaka, Luyimbazi David, and all their juniors, they know that the whole team, but we want the heads first. Then there's a group of ministers, you know, who are also called ministers of Kampala. They too are responsible. I saw one of them today in a talk show on NBS, and I wondered, guys, really? You have not even finished uncovering the bodies out of the rubble, and you are on national TV, you know, sitting for 2 hours to discuss nonsense. Anyway, let us keep doing what we can do for now. There's also an impending issue of rubbish that we have discussed, and we're going to keep discussing, because more and more rubbish is getting into Kampala, and we know that is going to make the whole system uncomfortable. You know, rubbish. Now that they can't take the rubbish to Chitezi, now that, you know, they cannot relieve all their dirt inside Chitezi, which they don't plan for, which they don't even invest in. They just eat the money that they budget to go and invest there. Now that is like that, we have to then now completely keep reminding them that, you know, this is unacceptable, and then do that completely every day, every time when you can. So guys, I have a few speakers on. If you want a mic, you can always you can always ask for the mic and you will get it. Don't forget to retweet this space. We are here to talk about corruption and everything attached to it. Thank you so much. You're all welcome. Let me allow my co-host to say something. Good girl. You're welcome.
Thank you, Dada. Hi, guys. I want to first apologize for those that were with me on the space that crashed. It was in the middle of a very educative, session, and it crashed, and Of course, the first one already crashed before the speaker. Then we tried at least to put up the space again. The speaker was speaking, and then. But I can say I'm really sorry, guys. So some things are also out of my control. Hopefully next time we'll do better. I think Dada talked about so many things that are happening in the country. Oh my God, Uganda is like, I don't know, a theater movie, you know? Like you just have to pick what movie you want to watch. Horror, drama, comic, I don't know. Oh God. Everything is right here. Everything is right in this country. Imagine we are still suffering from Chitezi. 2 of our diplomats are being deployed due to I don't know, how are they, what is the actual name to be called? Bad manners? Dada, what is another word that could mean bad manners, but is beyond bad manners? You know, how can you take a casino in a how?
Ambassador, we have issues in this country. Oh God.
I'm telling you, Oria put a casino in a consulate, Oria genda kuzina streeting yega yula bwavuma abantu. Oh God, this country is a mess. Whenever I say this country is a mess, people think it's a joke, but oh God, this country is a very big mess, you know. And on top of that, we have a very drunkard, someone in charge of all the armies, you know, of this country, saying I need my USA has to pay me, confessing to have, you know, before I always had rumors coming from a family that has people who men and women in uniform. There's always that rumor that people who used to go to Somalia would go fight, and they come back and they tell them there's money, and then what, yet they would cash this money and eat it. Now this guy is demanding money from the USA, apparently it was supposed to be for soldiers that died in Somalia, yet he has not even been paid. You know, it means these people, just like NSSF, they just put there something, risk Ugandans, and then keep cashing in and eating the money as a family, you know. Those tweets look like a joke, but they're not a joke, because I mean, Precious can be allowed to make a joke, because I mean, I don't own an office, but of course he's literally on the level of the president, having all those forces in control, it means you have a lot of power, so you cannot just joke about certain things, you know. And of course, Dada also mentioned something like they're trying to divert us from the Chitezi. It is very, very possible. Why? Because the Chitezi is a national shame. And here on Twitter is like our doorstep. It's like our compound. It's like the gates of it. The Twitter keeps the gates of Uganda. So whatever we say here, the international community now understood, because we've been summoning them. We keep calling them. So of course, I think they would rather mock him than see the actual picture Ugandans are going through. So the Chitezi has to get the attention it deserves away from those stupid tweets. You know, I don't care if they're true. Of course they're true. Somehow they're true. That guy was the first to be implicated by the late Mirundi. May he so rest in eternal peace, for saying he was stealing people's organs. So for a person to be called the biggest thief, if you steal organs, I think you are the biggest thief that ever lived. Of course, he has been implicated in so many scandals. So yeah, he is a thief. But I don't think it is like a big secret. You know, we all know that family is too corrupt, is full of thieves, they have stolen oxygen, And of course, Kene Rugaba is not any better, you know, being that his father-in-law, Sam Kutesa, is not even no longer a thief. I don't know if you codify past a thief, you become what, a mafia or something. So that family and their thieving and their rooting is beyond measure. So it is like, a kettle laughing to a pot that you black. They're the same. But the most important thing for us as Ugandans is look up to all this and know that these people are mocking us, are spitting on our faces, rubbing salt into our wounds, saying, what can you say? What can you do? You know, literally saying there's no fucking thing you can do about it. Because I mean, guy says, we need, they've never given a report for those people that died. But guy has the audacity to ask money for the bodies, the many bodies. You know, there were also rumors that so many people died in Somalia and so many bodies were never brought back. There are rumors that thousands of Ugandan soldiers died in Congo, you know. All these things, we keep dismissing them, but our brothers are dying in those wars, unnecessary wars around here and there. They take them to Congo, to do Somalia, to do what? We think they are doing a good thing, peacekeeping. They're in Sudan, they're here, you know. Yes, they're making money out of all this, and yet people keep dying, and no compensation is being done. And then all of a sudden, the first son thinks after drinking 2 beers or 3 beers or whatever Chitoko he was drinking or Terero, he thinks he can come and mock us like that. You know, mocking us on top of having hundreds of people buried in garbage that are not yet retrieved, you know. The mocking is way beyond. Today I saw Dr. Besigye, you know, speaking, and he was talking about Ugandans. He was saying, he was actually, he was bare knuckles telling us, kamufe, because I mean, if you don't do nothing, mugenda kufa, and that's the truth. If we don't do anything, if we don't do nothing and sit and wait for a savior, we will die. It doesn't matter where you are. That's what you're saying. It doesn't matter where you are. You know, those people in Chile didn't think that was it for them. You know, I saw someone reporting, I think it was one of the people that is always held space, Kamoka, was reporting about 5 people who died after hitting a pothole on Michiana Road. You know, so if you don't do nothing, it doesn't matter. Yeah? It doesn't matter where you are. It is coming for you. Just sit tight and just wait for your share. Just pray. Maybe your share doesn't take your life, because your share may be as bad as taking your life and or your family's life, and then it is hell for you. You know. So as Ugandans, as all this is happening, as all the diversion, you know, you can imagine bringing such a diversion, such a nasty thing to cover another nasty thing and another nasty thing. What can they cover? How many diversions shall they create to cover all this mess? How many? Okay, they say they've covered Chitezi. What about the diplomats that are being deported? You think that is small? Having 2 diplomats deported in the same month, in the same week. One because he put a casino illegal dealings in a consulate. Another one because he's not of standard. Because of bad manners, that they have to deport them back. This country is trash. It's trash in, trash out. You know? You look around, you look at trash. The people are trashy. The leaders are trashy. In a country where the commander of forces is a drunkard who tweets whatever he wants, a speaker who is corrupt and sanctioned, a president who endorses corruption. Deputy speaker was also implicated in Mabati. He's a thief. Prime minister is a thief. Minister of finance is a thief. Who is not a thief? That I remind me of anyone of our leaders who is not a thief. So what trashy? How much trashy can this country be? Just give me one name that has no, has not been in any corruption scandal and is a leader. Anyone that comes to your mind?
First, give me time. Let me Google and find out, because I can't get any off the top of my head. I swear.
That's how trashy we are. You would have, you'd have said, maybe the Minister of Health. Give me one ministry that has no corruption scandals. Education, health, URA. Which one? This is how trashy we are. We are all living. I was reading the writing of Dr. Spire, and of course, when you read through, and now that I'm talking, we are already under trash. We are living under trash. It's just a matter of time when we suffocate completely and die. If we don't do nothing, we're already covered by trash. You know, look around to know that we are living already under garbage. That we are already covered. The trash is on top of our heads. Is it what is functioning in this country? The roads, the schools, the hospitals. What is functioning in a country where they say expired IDs are valid? You know, that you've got to go to Kenya and tell them, you know what, guys, I know it expired last year, but of course it is still valid. How do you explain that? That's how bad this country is. So it's up to you, it's up to me to stand up and say, to clean up, because the trash has piled and we can no longer hide it. You know, the Minister of Health, Minister Achen Ruth was requesting American embassy and what embassy to give us vaccines for monkeypox. But with all this trash that is roaming around, forget about the monkeypox. Anytime we will be running, diarrhea, diarrhea with dysentery and cholera is coming our way. You know, it just needs a little bit of rain. Just a little bit of rain. Just pray it doesn't rain heavily one of these days. A little bit of rain and we are good to go. We are good to die. You know. And these things look like they are very far, but they aren't very far. They are not. And for you guys who think, you're rich, you're up there, but rich where and up where? Because I was recently in Kololo, the road to Kololo is as bad as the one at Nigeria, is as bad as the one that leads to that's Salama Road. So which places now can you say that this is a good place, that for us we are okay? Nothing. I was telling you guys where I come from in my village. There are people who still drink the same water with cows. And this is Western Uganda, where we have some of the most corrupt people. You ask yourself, where do they even take the money? I can tell you in Barara we have, you know those names. If I say I'm from Barara, you would mention many people that are from there, that are working in governments. The best I've done is build big houses down in the villages, and there's no one even living in those houses. But in a village where people still drink water with cows, where there is absolute poverty, I'm telling you, it is not any better anywhere in this country. You know, when we talk about Eastern Uganda, I was in Bujiri sometime. I don't even want to say what I saw there, but it's also as bad. So I don't know which part of the country is all actually okay. That for them, they can comfortably say that please don't make noise for us, we are okay. You know? So the whole country is under trash and we cannot hide it anymore. I don't care what these fools are planning but it's all trash. It's all playing in trash. It's all playing in the mud. You know? When you hide one, what about the other? What about the one that is coming? You know? So we can no longer sit down and do nothing. You know? It is actually sad. The more you speak about it, the more it saddens you. And I think, Principal did take on the mic. I'll also come back later because this never stops. This can't stop. Like you can speak the whole night mentioning only the bad things in this country and someone will ask you what is one good thing that is around you and you don't see it. People are sleeping hungry, you know. People can no longer afford decent meals. People can no longer afford school. Even those who afford school, there are no jobs, you know. Young girls are heading to the Middle East. The young girls that were born in 2000, 2001, 2003, 2005 are heading already to the Middle East after having 3, 4, 5 children. Teenage pregnancies in the East. I don't know if I only did a small research in the East, only find out that girls are giving birth between the age of 13. By the time they're 19, they have 3, 4 children, you know, because they drop out of school. Literally, there's no school. I don't know how to read your name. Is Monakanda. Your hand is up. Take on the mic, please.
Thank you, good girl. You can call me Chigongo. Moncada.
I'm sorry I'm sorry, I couldn't read it. Sorry. Moncada. Okay.
Moncada, hold on. Before you come, Madinjagala principal asoka yogere. Then after principal, you will come. But before principal comes in, we are going to first, salute our Gen Zs of 23rd with this. Yes. Those are sounds of, good comrades. Certainly said, you can check out all that content for, March to Parliament, Stop Corruption on his YouTube. Just go to YouTube and look for Sentinel said. Make sure you go and, like all his content, share it, We have to support people who are now on our cause. Right? Yeah, and that song has been welcoming, a street merchant, Principal D. The mic is yours, Sebo.
Sebo mpise street merchant.
Dada bine bitu yokusasula si birungi. Nze nga wadde wadde obugalo.
Mama, thank you. By the way, before I go on, the good girl, thank you so much. But unfortunately, I even don't know how you look. I don't know whether this animation on your profile is how you look, but I've never known how you look. Going to the point. We can see that right now when you check on Twitter, you realize that it is Rabogo and Muhozi who are trending. And to me, I feel like it's diversionary, as the good girl was saying, that right now we have a lot of tragedy that is happening. We have an international shame that we have just acquired of two diplomats being deported back into the country. One is running a casino. So by the time you see that one doing so, I just wonder those who are in countries like China, India, Russia, where things are not seriously taken, they don't mind almost about you. Those ones are not after accountability, politics of your countries. So I just wonder what the rest of those nations are doing. Then we see this one of Canada being deported. That is a success because the way she displayed herself there is not surprising because Museveni himself said that the people he brought this time around are fishermen. You see the likes of Nabanja. I think even at the beginning, the people like Semojo said Nabanja can't be even a class monitor of a P2. So the nature it cuts across all of them. Look at how they conduct themselves. So it is not surprising, but it is a shame to not the nation. To me, I feel it is not to the nation. It is to the NRM government. So it's a backlash to them. Then Chitezi, up to now we have not seen Museveni going there. which shows that we are on our own. When Trump got shot in the ear, we saw all of them trying to condemn harassment of political opponents, condemn the shooting. But now you have here a national tragedy in your own country. You have not reached there. What he has done best is to go for Thanksgiving. His son is on Twitter, a chief of defense forces. One thing I want to say to these people, these promoters of Muhoozi, who think that Muhoozi can be better off in fighting corruption, is that when we staged the anti-corruption protest, the army that was deployed there was not without his knowledge. Come on, he's the chief of defense forces. So the guns that were brought there, are those not Gundi? We saw Mambazi, we saw Buffaloes, we saw guns that could shoot down helicopters, but they were all brought for us, the anti-corruption protesters, who only had Manila cards in our hands. But that was done by Muhoozi, who they think is a better option. To me, I feel like the country should not take their fight seriously, because I don't see any fight there. That is just a family wrangle. Maybe say they had a small quarrel. You cannot tell me that Muhoozi is just coming out now. Rabogo, his name has been there.
Is it me who is hearing him break down, or is it my network or his network?
I am also, he's breaking. I can't hear him well.
But when the good girl was talking, she was breaking on my side. Now I don't
know. Go ahead, Principal. You're getting better.
So I was saying, we saw when we were removed from AGOA, the following day, I think it was even that very night, Rabogo was sent to, is it America? He ran there to plead on behalf of Uganda. But we all clearly know that we don't have any clear beneficiary of that AGOA. That project, all the money there was personally eaten by him. So this is a family that everyone has, an institution is eating from. Because you can see the wife is in education, everything there is for the wife. The son is now in the army. So all of them, it's the same. People who are saying, Muhoozi will fight corruption, everything that his family did was corruption, and it was all to build him up, for him to hold on to power and let the corruption continue. There's nothing. Muhoozi has grown up in the father's house. He plays in the father's sitting room. So to me, I don't see any fight there. There's no fight. The only thing is that there's a national family shame to them that the rest of the countries outside will be seeing. Then coming to anyway, my conclusion there is we leave them in their family fight, because it is not our concern. By the time he's saying Rabogo is the biggest thief, they have been looking at the thief, they have been dining with it, they stay in the same compound. That is his brother-in-law. We can't say anything. That is their personal fight. Let them fight. If God willing, if they could even shoot themselves, they own the guns. Let them shoot themselves. If they are dying, they all die. That is there's that saying in Uganda that the tree that you wish an axe for has been thrown down by wind. So if they want to shoot themselves, let them shoot. They die. We are not concerned. After all, they own the guns. One is CDF. I don't think the chief of defense force can fail to handle a mere man. If he personally held Kakwenza and went and tortured him properly, we won't say he can't torture this one who has nothing. So it is up to them. Let's not even join. That is their personal family fight. And I see the likes of Kabanda trying to join and take side. But I assure you, he has just signed his own ticket to death, because you cannot begin attacking a son-in-law to Museveni and you think you will survive. These people are family. Tomorrow they will sit on round table, reconcile, and then they begin looking for you who is not part of them. Iyo Kabanda, the other ones, you see them, they close. Now, Tamale Mirundi worked for those people for 14 years. If he died without being forgiven, now look at Kabanda. Those fools who are taking sides in these people's fights, let them fight. If they kill themselves, they die on. But when you begin taking sides, now you're the son's side. The other one is now the son-in-law's side. You're just inviting death for yourself, because each of them has the ability to kidnap you, abduct you, take you to a safe house. I believe the whole family, everyone has a safe house they own. They have misunderstandings with you. They have the capacity to carry you on, take you, and then you get disciplined in a particular safe house. I think that is their family fight. I've left that one. Then I want to come to the issues of the commissioners, that it has now come in this parliament where the more these people try to do something, is the more they expose themselves. And they think they are smart. And yet to me, I don't see them as being smart. I just see them as being the ones in those positions that would have put them into account, that they will not hold for long. Because we first saw when the commissioners, when the largest political party that is mandated to nominate those commissioners withdrew their trust from them and said, no, you no longer represent us. And I need us to note that the largest political party represents the rest of Ugandans, because they are there to check government. So if they say you no longer represent us and you insist that you're still a commissioner, so that means you're not representing Ugandans. You're not there to do checks and balance. Rather, you're there to do what the government would have done in the absence of the checkers. So right now, Mpuga is Anita's commissioner, and they are stealing as much as they can. But you see, we are all mortals. Either let them pray and they die early, or they will have to account, because this government will not live here forever. And these things are documented. These things which are already documented. What makes you think that you'll escape? Like Anita Mong, I saw Bebe Cool today. Bebe Cool is one of the people who shouldn't make public opinions. His opinions are toxic to even himself. He's better off when he's quiet. That now he's showing the things of Anita Mong, and he's questioning now, if you arrest this one, put in prison, what about the people depending, 1,000 of people depending on her? You feel like you want to say fuck you, man, because okay, these guys are taking away from 48 million Ugandans, and you're talking about 500 people who are depending on her. Like, should I say fuck you, Bebe Cool? Anyway, you'll excuse me for the language, the good gun and the rest of the host. But this people's reasoning just annoy. So to me, what I see happening is that these commissioners, because right now Mpuga does not work with the opposition parties, he's working with the government officially. And this syndicate here is very visible. And it is worse that they do not even try to put in knowledge. These guys don't try. Like, you really do the obvious. You really do the obvious, and they're not putting in any brain at all. Maybe if they were putting in some brain where we would understand after some years, but this one you understand instant. What I see are people like Chris Obore, that one is going to be used as a sacrificial lamb. Because we are already seeing the clerk of parliament has been used as a sacrifice. They have sacrificed him. Because court has given an order that he has to be punished. And he will be punished. And by all means, Chris Obore, somewhere, somehow ahead, I don't know how, but he's going to be used as a sacrifice. They will sacrifice him. But me, I would pray, if God could just give us these commissioners or this parliament, can't we ban it? Doesn't the constitution give us the right to that by all means, the citizens can rise up to defend the constitution by all means? Doesn't it give us that, like, by all means, we can ban this parliament? Because every day that passes, it annoys you more. It annoys you more. So now the speaker, the one who was the one that chaired the meeting, that served themselves, is the one who has refused the motion to come. Like, can't we ban this parliament? Or can it be dissolved? In fact, let me just come back late.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Principal D, for that submission. Yeah, man, that's a good one. Let me now welcome my, brother Katamba Chigongo, aka Moncada. Yeah, man, Mike is yourself.
Thank you so much, Dada and good girl, Principal D, and our comrades, fellow guns, for always tuning on and listening to words of wisdom as we strive to change our country for the better. Zeno, nja kutandikira ku leadership in general. Soka mu Uganda tetukyalina bukulembeze n'abaliwo bakyetwala. Okay? Parliament, the government is self bakyetwala, because let's not forget the two.
Dada, can you hear him?
Yes.
So,
go ahead, Moncada.
They have reduced our country into a laughing stock. They have turned our country into a laughing stock. Era bano badikula bibakola, ndowooza mubyerabiddeko n'agammwe. Nola badikula achenge nga, interrupting a protest in the country that is not hers, just because she thinks she's bigger than everyone. Okay? So, abaganda tugamba nti, ekiswaza omugaga kusesema ntula. Okay? Kati achenge yasesemye entula za Museveni zonna abazungu ne baziraba. Nti, much as this regime, has been saying there is no torture, there is no suppression of freedom of expression, dikula we Canada yamulabisiza. So kabazungu linezike tulize Uganda jiri sana. So kakati no gemazika ago genyini getulina mu parliament, getulina mu government, gajjudde buli wamu, gali ya buli kamu. Okay? Kakati galabye ebyokulya bigaweddeko naffe gagala tuliramu. Kale n'olwensonga eyo abana Uganda, we have to strive to stop these gorillas. There is always a budget. There is always money in their budget for travels and tours for these people, the government officials, the members of parliament, even the cases councillors. They always travel, okay, on taxpayers' money. But what is surprising is that these people do not admire what they see in other countries, so that they can strive to do it in their country. Manyi wewe wona gende wo muntu n'okyala n'olaba amakage n'owegomba buli kimu ogamba hanange we naddayo ewange kano njaka kyusamu naye gana amazika munaye tegegomba. Okay, they go to those countries on taxpayers' money. Okay, when they come back n'akaliwa ate zikonoona bonoonyi. And so these are very, very dangerous people we have in this government. Okay, and we have no option but to fight them, but using their bestowed constitution. Okay, And so, it's our duty to fight bad leadership. Okay, it's not an option. It's our duty. It's our national duty to resist dictatorship, oppression, and servitude. Ekirala, bw'olaba bino ebigenda maaso, diversions, Rabogo, you reflect on what I told you yesterday, those who were around on that space. Abasomedde who is in charge of this country. So the rest are just mere puppets working for the others. Because now for Rabogo is a Mukodomi to Museveni. Is the husband, Patience Museveni, and Janet Kataha Museveni has 3 daughters, Diana, Natasha, and the Patience Museveni. And so, these are wrangles within the family, and we should not focus on them. We should just direct our efforts on driving our agenda. And netutatunulira bano, okay? Kubanga ezo bazitonda intentionally. Olw'ensonga eyo, ze nja okemphasizinga is mobilization, sensitization, okulaba nga bannayuganda tutambulira wamu bategeera omulamwa gwe tuliko. Otherwise, ebimu munnaye nga good girl yagambye mu Uganda okaaba bw'oseka. Waliwo information gy'omanya n'ekuyitirako. Okay? But this government will go down in history as the longest serving government that served for 40 years and did completely nothing for the country. Okay? If I'm lying, let anybody come here and tell me that this government has done A, B, C, and D. Okay? But as far as I know, it has done completely nothing. And even the little it has done, it has come at a very huge cost. Okay? Take an example of Entebbe Express Highway being the most expensive road in the whole world. Now, if you hear about that, if you run about that, doesn't your mind even run berserk? Unless you have not traveled to other countries. Don't need to travel to China or United States to see good infrastructure. And so, we should resolve as Ugandans, to let these people suffer the consequences of their actions. Now, for example, if you want to fix education system, let it be a requirement for all government officials and ministers to send their children to UPE schools. Then you will have sorted the education system. because for them, they assume that the standard is the same. So they send our children to UP and use, and they send their children to good schools and even other countries. So let's ensure that their children also go to UP and see whether they will eat money meant for giving us quality education. Let them send their children to be treated in Mulago and Chirudu. Okay? Then we shall have sorted the whole healthcare system in the country. But because these people treat their children in other countries, okay, they send their children to go to study in other countries, then they can't mind about fellow countrymen, okay. And so that is why I'm telling you that Baneno, Unobugologos 170, or those we call useful idiots, the baby cools and what, abambi abo tetubateeka kunyo na mulamwa kubanga bakazanyikiriza omanyi edda twabanga ne bana abasajja abatambulanga n'obugologosi, okay, kati ng'abuleeta n'abuteekaawo mu maaso ne buzina naye ngene mabega nga waliyo kabonganja abuzinisa, okay. So naye olaba obugologosi bukuba dance naye ng'emabega wali akola ki abuzinisa. So these are just useful idiots we should not focus on, and so we should focus on the main target. And so for me, every day ensure that I tell people, I tell friends, I tell family members about the mission, the bigger mission that we are pursuing. Are you doing the same, or you are keeping this information to yourself? Start with your family members, start with your friends, okay? Whenever you are given platform, whether on TikTok, even if you go to the party, you are invited. Once you pick a microphone, tell people the truth, okay? So we have no option but to sensitize Ugandans. Otherwise, this country fell into the hands of hyenas, and these hyenas, after eating everything, all the wealth of the country, they will turn back to us like they are now doing, and they will eat us also. They are sadus. Thank you. My battery is getting down. I'm 7 cut of power. Sina masanyalaze. So I'm remaining with 3%. Dada you increase. But thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Chigongo, for giving us.
Let me say something before I go back. You know, I have a patient.
Okay, yeah, you
so
can go ahead.
I was saying, now we are saying that the corrupt are putting in a lot of efforts, and yet it seems we are not putting in enough. Last time I shared here a contact for the radio stations in Gulu, because we know these people are going. Why don't we task everyone at least tomorrow to post for us here an audio recording of their phone calls to these radio stations and telling them about corruption, about the corrupt, teaching them what is at stake. Because these people are putting in effort. If you can see that the judiciary is also part of it, you can see that.
Actually,
the syndicate.
Yes. Not only ladies, but also members of parliament. I already assured you that I have all the numbers. In case you don't have the number for your member of parliament, we must show the evidence that you have either sent a WhatsApp message warning them about the Gulu sittings and all that stuff, or you have called them directly. Let's walk the talk. Let's walk the talk. Because for me, what I say, I always want to do. Okay? And so, let's walk the talk. Let's not just make good speeches. Okay? Because those who will not fight the corrupt, we have to press actively and in speech.
Yes.
So that's what I was saying, that let us ask everyone tomorrow at least, make a phone call and do a recording and you share. You make a phone call to these MPs, whether they are your MPs or not, but they are in those regions. Please, you do that and you share. We get motivated. Even those who are losing hope will get motivated. The good girl, please post a photo of you online. I want to have a look.
I'm also going to post some, I'm going to repost the numbers for members of parliament. So that you can look for, even if it's not your member of parliament anyway, you can still send, no problem. Whoever you get comfortable sending, you send, so that you can harass them with as many messages as possible. That back to you, the story.
Thank you so much, Moncada and Principal D. Let us now listen to John Chris. Unmute and talk to us.
Yeah, good evening, all members. This is John Chris. I'm so honored to be in this platform.
Yes, go ahead.
And, me, what I want to share is, I believe it is very right for us to walk the talk. And, to some of us who have been walking the talk, I come from Tororo. But, as I speak right now, I believe in Tororo with the security, a pussycat and a rat because they don't want to hear the truth. But the truth is that we have to fight corruption. And the challenge we have, some of our people, or the leaders we have, and even the people whom we even think they see things, they don't want to see things the way things are. And I also want to concur with the current speakers that we need to walk the talk and press on the mantle. We need to either, if it is radio stations, like me, I want to assure you guys that my MPs are no longer picking my calls. You right start from Mekanya, Honorable Sarah, Pendi, the Oboto bots are no longer picking my calls, even if you try to call them how. But still we have other ways to mobilize still other people down on the ground. There are youths who are frustrated. There are business people who are frustrated because you can find someone is operating a business of 1 million shillings and is paying URA taxes 400,000. Then after URA is collecting 400,000, license is collecting 200,000. After license collecting 200,000, there is ground rent maybe of 150,000. And then you ask, what is really going on in the country? People are getting suffocated. And these are the very people who, when they get so suffocated, they go back and sit quiet. Yeah. But not just because they wish to sit quiet, but because they feel they don't have, there is no one who can put that morale in them that, yeah, we can make it. We can rise up on our feet and speak against corruption. I just want to put this clear. I lost my uncle some 2 months back, but we went to a government hospital. When we reached the government hospital, my uncle was admitted. There was no drug. Not even Panadol, not even a painkiller. And I had to go and buy from a pharmacy outside for my uncle to be treated. At the end of the whole thing, I reached a point my uncle needed oxygen and there was none concerned. When I wanted to transfer to Mbale, they said, you cannot go. What will the world say about us or about the government hospital? I said, but what I'm fighting for is life. So I realized later on they brought an oxygen, bringing an oxygen, putting my uncle to an oxygen when he has already passed on. So there is just a lot that I want to concur with the current speakers, that we need to walk the talk, we need to rise up, we need to sensitize the public, we need to sensitize our people, we need to speak up and let them understand. Some of our people don't understand. They really don't even know what corruption is. When you go down to the villages there, when you go to Tororo, I can assure you, you will ask someone what's corruption. They even don't know. You know, you ask someone, why have you failed in business? You are what, they came, took my things, what? Then you ask them, but what have you done? There is nothing. You see that? So I believe we need to sensitize the public more. We need to sensitize people more through all avenues, through all possible means that we always get an opportunity to sensitize them. And I believe time to come. Time to come. It is not going to be long, but time to come as we walk the talk and sensitize the people. I'm very sure that people will rise up. People will rise up and change will come, or corruption will be put to an end. Because the only way of putting corruption to an end is seeing that we fight these corrupt leaders. We fight the corrupt system. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, John Chris, for your submission. Guys, you can ask for the mic. You can ask for the mic. And we will give it to you as soon as you ask for it. But also, you can go to the comment section. We have put up so many things in the comment section. You can go and read. Moncada or Katamba has posted the phone numbers of all your MPs. So there's no excuse, guys. The phone numbers are there, you know. I can see my MP, Nkunyenje Mwada. I can see also my village MP of Mbale municipality. And I can see so many MPs. So you can go in the comment section and, you know, take the contacts, pick the ones that you can, and make sure you make those calls, because we know that this is so important. Those of us who have done it know that it really works, you know. When you call an MP and you speak to them, it really counts. It really counts. Yes. So we are going as long as possible tonight on this space, because so many spaces have been disrupted. So we are trying to patch up with this one. So that is why you should feel free to ask for the mic. Feel free to ask for the mic. But also, like we've said in the beginning, there are so many things to chew on. Like, you know, make a choice, but there's so much to this. There's a lot going on in this country. And like some people have said here, just like, you know, it is that when you make a lie, when you lie to cover up something, you'll always need another lie to cover up that lie. So is the issue with government here. That when you hold on to a scandal like Chitezi seriously, and you milk it day and night, the system will create another scandal to pull you all out of the other scandal. Are you getting me? It's like they now start generating their own scandals. Now, like the scandal of Mohozi and his in-law. Guys, if there's any serious scandal there, it would not, you know, it would not have, you know, been seen on online, because, I mean, these are people who share a lot. They share a lot. They cannot bring their fights online. If there's a serious, that is why we should not take it serious. If they want us to take it serious, let the CDF, you know, go and arrest the thief, you know. Or let him go and close his businesses. Or let him do something, like let him arrest part of his group. Then we know that, now these guys are serious. But otherwise, you know, they're just trying to occupy, you know, social media space. But we will not give them that liberty, because we know what is supposed to be trending. We know that, you know, there is that candle that is burning with all flags and, you know, written Chitezi on it. That is something that we should all be waking up to post every day. They should know that we are on the matter. Like, we have not even moved an inch. We are still there, you know. How can we move when they've not even removed all the bodies? We can't, you know. So I think, yeah, it is actually on Ashraf Hector's, it is actually on Ashraf. I've been looking at it in the comment section. It's not there, but it's on Ashraf Hector's AV. So Ashraf Hector, probably you'll post for us your AV in the comment section, so that people can go and can go and use the same poster to, you know, talk about Chitezi, because, you know, Chitezi is where we are. That's the matter. That's the issue. That's the elephant in the room. The rest is just, you know, background noise, you know. Just like we've said, some scandals are going to be real, other scandals will be generated. But we know that for a fact, there's going to be scandal after scandal. But we need to be careful on selecting which scandals we are going to, you know, drum up, which scandals are we going to let slide, which scandals are we going to milk, you know, as much as possible, because we also have to take the opportunity and, you know, do our job, Kulabisa, to expose, you know, the rot, and also educate those who are still blind to the corruption, blind to the theft, you know, blind to the impunity. You know, we have to open their eyes and ears by force, kindly. Yes. I got a thumbs up from Ashraf Factor. I think that shows that he has posted the artwork, but I'm sure it will be posted of the artwork of Chitezi. Someone had asked for a mic and they have fallen off. Bob Liam, do request for the mic again, guys. This is not a talk show for only 3 people. You are welcome to pick up the mic and talk to us. We are discussing so many things, but concentrating on the ones that, add a lot of value to us, especially, the issue of parliamentarians who have been implicated in corruption. We have the commissioners, we have the speaker, and now they are colluding. It looks like the speaker and the 4 commissioners are now colluding with the court system and the whole, system. They are colluding to protect the corrupt and, get them off the leash. Yet, we are doing the opposite. We are trying to make sure that all the corrupt are implicated, So that is something that is really, 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 really going on. So Bob Liam, my brother, the mic is yours. Talk to us.
Yes, greetings, dear brothers and sisters. Yes, LM Dada, thank you for the opportunity to allow me to share my thoughts on matters at hand, as we see that our country is really in a deep mess, and it is a collective responsibility of each and every one of us, to lay a helping hand so that we can get back on our feet. So, LM Dada, you mentioned that our brother there have posted the numbers of our representatives in their respective constituencies. And you mentioned Mwadanku Nyingi, your representative. And something clicked back in my mind with regards to the Kitezi explosion. We received information that Anita Among, Matthias Mpuga, and Mr. Museveni, they are vowing that if Mwadanku Nyingi does not refrain from the matter of Kitezi, he is coded for death. You understand? You can see that there is something so very, very evil the regime is concealing, regarding the Kitezi massacre. You understand, brothers and sisters? You can see that the number being published by the mainstream media, it is very, very low, because we have the architects, the engineers in Uganda or in Kampala, who knows how many households were in the area, the radius of the explosion. So according to the story being narrated by the residents, they say that the garbage flew high in the sky, meaning that it wasn't a garbage slide or a landfill slide. No, it was something deliberately, planted there, and it was detonated. So we really need, proper information. And given the fact that the entire perimeter has been sealed off by security operative, you wonder, what are they protecting? You understand? They issued a creed that nobody should, speak in the media regarding that and that, how it happened, that they issued a commission where those witnesses should go and submit what they saw. You understand? You can see there is still even an ongoing profiling of those who witnessed the real tragedy. So, brothers and sisters, our parliamentarians, they should stand behind Mwadanku Nyingi, all of them, and we demand a thorough investigation, not being initiated by the regime, but by the parliamentarians respectively, because they are all full aware that we have been pressurizing them, and we are demanding that they should stop legitimizing Mr. Museveni's rotten regime by passing the supplementary budget of which Museveni uses to even orchestrate such tragedies. Why am I emphasizing that? The state has got a hand in this Kitezi tragedy. You can see their demarcation, they are demarcating the land they want to grab from the people. You understand? There is no clear number the state council has come up with that we have lost these parts of land and these people had household of them. We see just different things, brothers and sisters. They are hiding something. You can see this Gafe or skirmish being brought by Mr. Museveni's son, Muhoozi Kainerugaba Madara. It is all diversionary. They want us to go into that one, but we are smart enough to know that they are pulling us from the real question, why Kitezi was exploded. What are the motives behind it? What is the actual number of the death toll of the people of the Republic of Uganda? These are taxpayers' money, and their money, it is the one that facilitates parliamentarians to purport that they are representing our aspirations as Ugandans. You understand? So they must be held accountable, and we are holding them accountable for all the unfoldment of, these unfathomable political events in Uganda, brothers and sisters, before the people who are educated, people who know how human relations has to be administered, they are choosing silence. They think that they somehow being protected by their silence. But it does not work, because we all see that Mr. Museveni has managed successfully to infiltrate each and every institution. It is in us, Ugandans, to forcefully demand the resignation of Anita Among. So, brothers and sisters, another issue I would like to point on is this. What was it? What was it? What was it? No, let me just land it for now, and I'll keep on listening. Thank you so very much, brothers and sisters. But let's just keep our eyes open and we focus on what the state is. Yes. I wanted to convey my gratitude towards the international community. I mean, in their response to our cry that they should, press sanctions on these individuals who are the enablers of Mr. Yoweri Museveni to execute all his dictates, namely Matthias Mpuuga, Anita Among, and the like. And we are welcoming more of them. Let us isolate them at home and on the international community. We know all the money being embezzled in the parliament, largely it is being invested in the European Union and the West at large, even in other, stable economy on the African continent. So we need to profile all these individuals so that even the African Union should come up with a solution to hold these individuals accountable by tracing their investments, because it is now in the broad daylight that they steal money, namely Anita Among, and they invest them into their relatives or proxies. You understand? But these ones are all traceable because we are digitized and we are protected.
Can you hear me?
Yes, brother. I can.
Bob, are you still speaking?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello, Bob. Can you hear me?
Yes, LM Dada, I can hear you, brother. I can hear you. Anybody else can hear us? Hello? Guys, anybody in the audience?